Welcome, Philippine Bible Ministry. Dave Pinson here. I want to talk right now about what's happening in the ministry. Um, the Lord told me the other day, so something like phase one is complete, Dave. So get ready for phase two. So what is phase one? So let me just say, I don't know how long this is going to be. Hopefully not too long. So the Lord told us years ago, a few years ago, 2000, say 15, 16, 17, 17 maybe, started putting it on our hearts that we were going to do something with our life. We came over here, did a VBS. I'm not going to retell the whole story because I've told it a few times. God put it on our heart, my wife and I, to sell our house. We take some of the money. We had a little fun time here and there, but we took the money, build a house, build a ministry building, which is not done yet. We're still in phase one. Okay, so we built this house, and we started opening up our house to meetings. So we moved to the Philippines. We gave up a lot of things. We give up some people in a way. We still see them. We try to go back as often as we can. We can't really afford it. We can't really afford to go this time, but we're going in July for my little niece and my daughter, who I'm very close to them, and also hopefully see my sons, my grandbabies. But yeah, so we did that. We came over here because we feel like God told us to come here, and it's like I've told you many times. Not like I love the Philippines. Not like I feel like this is a wonderful place to be. I really want to go. I mean, God could have called me to Austria or somewhere that has a lot of nice green mountains and someplace that I feel like I would love more. I don't really like the weather necessarily. Of course, I love the people because we love people because we are people, and God told us to love people. So God brought us to the Philippines. And like I told you before, He said, I don't want you to build a church. There's tons of churches. You don't need to go build a church. There's enough churches. There's enough churches in the U.S. too, by the way, brother. There's enough churches in a lot of Western nations. People don't need more churches. People need more Jesus. People need to become disciples of Christ, not disciples of a denomination or a church or building. And how I feel about churches, a lot of you already know, but some of you may learn, but not necessarily right now. I feel like there's other ways to do things, and what we're doing is we're ministering to people. A lot of them go to churches, so we open up our house. First thing He told us was, whenever there's someone in your house, I want you to feed them. It's a good thing He told us that because that's what we do, and we spend a lot of our monthly income goes to that. A lot of it, a lot of it goes to that, and that's why we're okay with it because God told us to do it. At the end of the day, we could be a lot better off financially if we didn't do that. But that's why we're here. What would be the point of coming of what would be the point of living by faith if you don't have to? What would be the point of coming here and saving my money and living this way when God told me to live this way, right? So that's what we do. So we open up our house when there's people here. We feed them. So we have three meetings. The first one that started was a kids meeting. So we have a kids meeting, and there's usually 30 to 50 kids. It's usually not 50, but once in a while we've had over 50 when there's a big event or something that we don't even have to advertise it. Oh, it's Christmas time. We better go see what Uncle's got cooking. He's probably got something special. So when they go in the house, we feed them. Um, so without getting into the whole history of it, we started. I wrote this little book called "The Gospel for Children." Now it's been changed. The name's been changed to the Gospel, simply the Gospel. It used to be anyway. And this lady, this amazing lady with Virginia, our good friend in California, who's been here with us a few times. She was here for the VBS. She's been here a few times. She's amazing. She had a friend at her church that makes these little cards that are mint that are like to get you through things. So they have what do you call them? They have themes, right? So we did one themed on the book I wrote, The Gospel for Children, and so it basically just goes through the history from creation to Jesus, right? So we went through that with the kids, and as we're doing this, we're also feeding them, and this becomes a thing where we're trying to teach them the basic anyway, blah blah blah, and then we wind up with a youth group on Sundays, which started with these young guys, and then it expanded to these girls wanting to go, I think, to see the young guys, and now it's sort of expanded to a little bit younger group, like maybe sixth graders, seventh graders instead of 10th graders. And that's fine. So, and then we have an adult group, right? And so that's like phase one. So phase one, we have three Bible studies a week. They let me preach down at the church once a month. All the stuff is recorded. I share with five people who is ever watching it. So that's phase one of the ministry. So also, there's a Baptist church that liked my books. I've given them several of my books. We made little paper copies. They translated it into Visayan. So and that one pastor, he loves my books. Nobody else seems to like them. Maybe you'll like them. Go to Amazon.com, David Pinson. I don't make any money on them yet, but I'm hoping that could be something that's like a supplement our income, so we could expand our ministry. But anyway, so phase one, that was also part of phase one, is writing the books. I was in the hospital. I had this neck surgery. I feel like the Lord spoke to me in the middle of the night when nobody else. I couldn't sleep. I get surgery, and He says, just write the simple books, David. I don't know if anybody's going to buy them, but I'm writing them. I can use them for curriculum. I think there are good ways to reach people that don't know anything about Christianity. I think there are also ways to remind people that do know a lot about Christianity, just the simplicity of it. We're trying to keep simple because I have a tendency to try to make everything complicated and try to get into the various, like the deep issues, and talk about that. And my wife always tells me, there's people to be saved, honey. Don't worry about that. So I'm trying to focus on that. So phase one, the Bible studies, we got the books a little bit. We have a video ministry which is now expanded a little bit. I mean, I got over 100 followers now, which is a pretty big deal to me. I used to have five, so you know, and it only takes one person. Oswald Chambers, and I say this all the time. He says one person comes to this college and their life has changed. It's worth it. I feel the same way. If one person watches my videos or reads my books or comes to my Bible studies, if their life has changed, then it's worth my whole life, really, because it only takes one person. And one life is so valuable to God. So I'm happy if one life is changed. So the next phase, we're not exactly sure what it is because God doesn't tell you everything. Oh, there's another thing happening, a brand new thing that's going to be happening. I think it's part of phase two, is I'll be teaching special ed teachers in a foreign country how to work with special ed kids, and they're all underground Christians. So that's going to be amazing, whatever that is. So we're excited about that. And then also here we have a ministry building that hasn't been built; it's already been paid for. It's been taking a while, and God says, I'm not ready yet. So we're not ready. He's not ready. But someday we'll have a ministry building. I'm hoping we'll have, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. We need, if we're going to make disciples, we want people to want to be disciples, right? So God gave me he just gives me a little different way to do things than most people do. I don't have a subscribe thing. I don't ask you to donate. There's a whole lot of things I don't do that other ministries do because I don't feel like that's necessarily what God wants me to do, right? I feel like this all has to be organic. I feel like if people want to be disciples, God put it in their heart, and they'll come to me just like they came to Jesus. So we're sort of excited. We're excited about going back to California and visiting everyone, having a moment, and then we're excited about coming back and see what the Lord does in phase two. And I'm excited to share with you guys. So if you guys would pray for guidance and pray for expansion of the ministry and pray for support, not just financial support, which would always be good, but we don't ask for that, but pray for support, prayer support, pray for people to maybe get a glimpse of what I see as a way to minister to church people, because I see that as a huge need in this world, especially in America, especially in Europe, especially in the places that have lots of churches. I think they need people to teach them the gospel. They need a different way, like to make disciples, basically. So hoping that makes sense and it's not too much. So God bless you guys. Ta ta for now. We'll see you later.